Welcome to the Gun Show. Speaking of egomaniac meatheads, did you see that kid on YouTube that whipped his paddle into the wall? He lost a fast hands battle. What a loser. There's 1.5 million views on YouTube, and I'm just reading the comments. There's 2,000 comments. Just going through it last night. I couldn't stop laughing. Crap, I wanted to be an Olympian too, but I suck at pickleball as well. This one's so hilarious. God, I hate when paddles don't show up with that A game. Like paddle, WTF. How to find the optimal partner. Why is that stuff written here already? Because that's permanent marker. I didn't realize a whiteboard doesn't use permanent marker. Could have happened to anyone. To find the perfect pickleball partner, we need a y-axis right here and an x-axis. Now the y-axis is going to be the attitude. 10 is the best attitude. 1 is crappy. It's like a Kyle Yates attitude a couple years ago. Even if you're really good, like really good, you won't find a good partner, right, pal? On the x-axis, we have the rating system. We have 1 to 5 to pro, right? What's that UTPR? What's that DUPR? Like it really matters, because let's face it, this is not a good indication of how good they are, because there's no good rating systems out there. I said it DUPR, I said it UTPR, I said it WPR. I could keep going. Now I'm drawing this diagonal line. What does this diagonal line mean? Well, at the top of this diagonal line, it's a person with a 10 attitude, like incredible person. You'd fall in love with this person right away. And then they're extremely good at pickleball because they have 5 or pro rating. Bad news, you'll never, ever find this person. If you're a woman looking for a man and they have an amazing attitude and they rank this high, they're lying through their teeth. Call their friends, do a background check. This person's not real. They're fake. I guarantee it. Now, if you're a man looking for the optimal mixed doubles partner, and this happens, if you find a woman with a 10 personality rated really high, let me say something that's going to save you a lot of agony and probably save you from a horrible weekend. This person's not real. They're probably a unicorn. You're probably being catfished. I've been catfished several times in the last month. So if you've been catfished, it's okay. And if you catfished me, I forgive you. It's not a big deal. I had a good time anyway. Now that we know Santa Claus doesn't exist, let's find a good pickleball partner for you. If you had to decide between a 4-0 with a crap attitude, say it's a Ye, right? Kanye West, he's been real crappy lately. Don't play with him, even though he's decent at pickleball. Go with a 3-5 with a 6 personality, because you can have fun. Even if you lose in the second or third round, you can rally and you can still win the tournament because it's double elimination. If you lose with Kanye in the pickleball tournament, let's hope you're not Jewish. Pop quiz time. Let's say you had to play in a mixed doubles tournament, but you find a 3-0 with a 10 personality, like David Nell personality. However, you have a 3-8 with a crap 2 personality. Who do you go with? What I would tell you is to go with a 3-0 with a beautiful personality and take charge. Be the alpha male or alpha female. Take charge on the court. Smile a lot. Bring some snacks. I love snacks so much. And don't forget to have a good day. Son, you must be all in. Wearing that neon, you surely want to win. And if I showed up at a tournament and my partner was wearing the same color as the ball, I wouldn't care. Is it bad sportsmanship? No, I don't think so. Would I do it? Maybe. At a tournament, I do like to wear green. It brings my eyes out. Black makes me slim. I do believe if I'm wearing yellow or green or whatever the color the ball is, you do get a slight competitive advantage because you have trouble picking the ball up off that paddle. On top of that, it really annoys your opponent because they're like, seriously? They get a little upset. You get the mental advantage as well as a slight physical advantage because it's tougher to pick the ball up. Sometimes I think it's a sin when I think that I'm winning when I'm losing the game. The truth is, pickleball players do frown upon opponents that wear the shirt the same color of the ball. They think it's bad sportsmanship in their eyes. It's not against the rules. The rules committee had many chances to pass it. They didn't. Sometimes I think it's a sin when I think that I'm winning when I'm losing a game. They will have to put up with some trolls, but I do it every day. I think it builds mental toughness. I really don't care what people think. I think I show that through my actions throughout the years. Pickleball lovers, what do you think? Is it morally wrong to wear yellow? If your partner showed up at a tournament doing this, would you make him or her change that shirt? Leave your comments. Subscribe to All In Pickleball because I'm Joey. I'm All In Pickleball. And sometimes I think you should be too, wearing a yellow shirt, looking at who. But everyone's been waiting for the roast of Joey Gmuer. I'm Francis Joseph. Welcome to All In Pickleball. Maybe you should be all in too. Before I roast Joey, let me say a couple nice things about him. We'll just have a moment of silence for Joey. He is a spammer on Facebook. He only cares about himself. All his thumbnails are egocentric. I would compare him to a poor man's Rob Cassidy. Except he's not on the rules committee, has a bigger temper, does horrible rules segments that don't even make sense. And Cassidy's 10 times better at pickleball than Joey ever will be. Rob Cassidy, I do like you. Joey does truly value his friends. He would give the shirt off his back to any one of them. Not because he really cares about them, but mostly because he wants to be shirtless, get attention, and get some girls. The fact that he's a PPR certified pro and coaching people to actually play pickleball when he plays pickleball the wrong way, doesn't understand the game, is not only an atrocity on pickleball, but I do worry about his students. They do get poached all the time. And they really don't respect him. Joey was so bad at YouTube when he first started. YouTube tried to shut him down several times. Thank God you can't get negative subscribers. Every word out of his mouth was an and he thought a green screen was actually the background because it matched his eyes. Did for several months without editing and put videos out with just the green screen in the background. True story. Furthermore, if you watch his instructional videos, you actually get worse at pickleball. Joey does have such a big heart, partly because he takes so many supplements. This is part 1 of 3 of the roast of Joey Gmuer, and we'll let him respond real quick. The green screen does match my eyes, though. Yeah. What? Hold on, I gotta take this. Kevin, I saw the video. I'm not playing in a tournament with you. Honestly, you're not in the correct ready position. You have your paddle down. That's not the correct ready position. You do have actually the right stance. Hold on, whatever. Why Kevin Durant will never be a good pickleball player? Or will he? 1, when he's approaching the net, he's like this. That's not the correct ready position. That was my ready position for like 2 years. He's like this. He looks like Gumby. Number 2, he has to take a longer step for that backhand dink. He takes a small step. It throws him off balance because he's really tall. If you don't have great balance, what I would suggest is to use this offhand. 3 pillars of balance. I'm looking forward, right? The hand is the other one. The other hand is 2. You have 2 hands, I believe. Why does he want balance? When he's going out with those long hands, he can use that offhand to really give him balance. He can get out wide. He should be doing more earnings as well. I will say he is in the correct stance. Most people have too wide a stance. It throws them off balance. You want a stance probably shoulder width apart. Good job, Kevin, on that. Other than that, you're not driven. I've watched you play basketball. Last 2 years, he won some championships with Golden State. And honestly, I could have been on that team and still won. Seriously, I could shoot threes right from the corner. That's all he has to do. He is not that good at any sport. Here at All In Pickleball. Hold on. Rob, I don't care you're upset. That's the truth. Dude, you won the gene lottery. You got to play for Tom Brady your whole life, the GOAT. I could have been your Wes Welker, man. I really could. You are chubby. You look like a fat baby right now. And honestly, you've partied as much as I did your whole life and were still successful. I wasn't. That's a compliment. You're going to have to do the one thing I started doing 2 days ago. Apply yourself. Yeah? Well, let's get started right now. Rob, first of all, congratulations. You lofted the ball high. You ran to the kitchen. Exactly what you want to do in pickleball. But that's bad news as well. That's the last compliment I'm going to give you right now. First of all, your stance is way too wide. That's going to throw you off balance when you're dinking. And in pickleball, you want to get really far out in the kitchen. So have that stance shoulder width apart and try a lot of earnings because you're really tall. Second of all, you're way too tense, man. This isn't football. Loosen up. You're not going to get hit by a linebacker. Loosen that grip. It's like an 8 or 9 now. I can just tell. Loosen it to a 3. Pretend it's an egg. Furthermore, your weight distribution is not correct. Pretend there's a dime right on your toes and try not to step on it. Sarah Ansbury, the best teacher in the country, taught me this. I know what I'm talking about. I know. I'm watching the point right now. Serve. Get to the kitchen. Beautiful switch by the other team. Oh, you see the lob? I loved how you turned. I'll go back to that. Hell of an overhead. It wasn't that good. I mean, It's athletic. Okay, you said the other team was going to lob. You turn. Most people think that's the wrong way you turn. It's the correct way because you know that from football, from coverage. You can get a head of steam. You can cover for your partner. He can switch. And it's a heck of an overhead. You're really athletic. Everyone really knows that. However, the celebration was way overdone, unoriginal, and over-exaggerated. It really was. Gronky of the tape. I was just being honest. Honesty is the best policy. That's what my mom told me. Before I unteach you some techniques by Michael Phelps that a lot of beginners use, let me preface this by saying Michael Phelps was my idol. In 2006, he visited Penn State. He was on top of the world. Let's roast Michael Phelps now.
5-1 pros.
That's right. And that one hits the line. Michael Phelps doing a great job of staying out of the way.
Is he actually the real Aquaman? You wonder if he has gills the way he's moving on the court. You almost want to fill it up with water like an aquarium so he has a small chance at winning a point. Joking aside, I would move better on the court with flippers than he does. The main thing Michael Phelps is doing wrong is he's taking that elbow behind his body, right? So what I would tell you, keep that elbow tucked in, right? And he steps back every time with that right foot. Now, that's the right technique if the ball's deep and you can step with that right foot, but you don't want to step. You want to hit it out in front if you can with that elbow at the side. That's what I teach beginners who are doing this.
6-1, I doubt their confidence is very
Here we
high
go.
right now.
I feel someone getting their ankles broken.
Oh!
One more thing, the wrist will come through naturally. What I would tell my students is make sure the paddle is behind the wrist when you hit, moving up with your shoulder, because then you can really flip it and speed it up very, very deceptively.
9-3, pros are winning.
Pros doing big things.
Phelps having trouble with the slice for sure.
Pickleball lovers, do you think I was too hard on Michael Phelps? He's pretty incredible. I don't think he'd be mad. Please leave your comments. Please subscribe. And don't forget, at All In Pickleball, I'd be very grateful if you subscribe because this is my life. A hot dog owner in East Liverpool, Ohio, just one-upped every single politician I know. Made a move to truly bring community together. Not only was his motives pure, he didn't even want to be on the news. On top of that, he donated the land himself. I joke a lot, but this is truly a huge story in my mind. I mean, he's a small business owner, probably not a millionaire, but his mission in life is pure. It's real. He understands what's at stake in America today. The immense power pickleball has to bring community together and the desperate need for it in our society today. And he says, I just want to donate land right next to my hot dog stand to save our community today. Just a man saying, here's land next to my hot dog stand that you can have to build a pickleball court because there's a desperate need for community. Would you save my community today? Because he probably doesn't own the world, but he donated a little piece of himself to build a pickleball court. He recognizes in our society today, in his community where he lives, that he loves. Pickleball is not just a hobby, it's a sport that can bring community together. I'm Joey, I'm all in pickleball. And maybe you should be too. I just want to donate land right next to my hot dog stand to save our community today. Welcome to Pickleball Hunters. Joey is going to the PPA tournament in Scottsdale, Arizona in March, and he's looking for housing. Obviously, this is me. So I'm making an actual call to Angie. She owns this house with her husband. Let's see if she answers. Angie, this is Joey. I saw your house on Airbnb. It had a pickleball court, right? It's pretty nice. How much would it be a nice? Just for a pickleball court? If it's going to be that much, how many people does it sleep? 7? Riddle me this then. It only has 5 bedrooms. How does it sleep 7? Ah, shit. Looking at pictures of your master bedroom. Now with those heated floors, my feet get really cold in the morning. They are? Wow. Just out of curiosity, are you still married? Angie, sorry to call back. I'm looking at pictures of your kitchen. Now, are those quartz or granite countertops? Granite? I love that island and the open floor plan. Now, I do give pickleball lessons. I'm somewhat famous in the pickleball space. Would you waive all the fees and not charge me to stay there for a week if I gave you pickleball lessons? You wouldn't? Sorry to call back again. I love the family room. It's an open floor plan. Now, you may not know this about me, Angie, but I did real estate in 3 states, and I think you laid out your whole house wrong, especially in back. Instead of the pool, you could have fit about 2 or 3 more pickleball courts. Instead, you made this pool, this outdoor area. No one wants a fire in Scottsdale, Arizona. Does it even get cold in the desert? Angie, let me tell you something. I'm looking at your reviews, 98 reviews, like a 4.8. Now, I did go to Penn State, graduated in 3 years. Are you going to knock off some money for the 0.2 stars you're missing?
When the ball strikes the paddle, that's quite higher than you would expect.
It is the sound of pickleball, and it's a sound so annoying to some that there have been lawsuits over where the pickleball courts can be.
In this society, when we have so much going on in our lives, post-COVID, wars overseas, a breakdown in the social fabrics of our society that leads to a mental health crisis, not afraid to admit it, I struggle. I think we all can agree the sound of a pickleball is truly driving people crazy, and it needs to be addressed right now. We need as many litigations as possible in the pickleball community. These people are crazy and need to be stopped. I was playing pickleball, becoming who I was supposed to be. How was I supposed to know those lawyers would sue the hell out of me?
Well, the county was trying to avoid the legal hassles that some parks departments have gotten into. There have been lawsuits filed over these pickleball courts. The city of Lake Oswego, they closed down some courts while they tried to figure out how to solve the problem of everybody complaining about the noise. And the way this country is in a pickleball frenzy, well, you might be hearing more complaints.
But is it just me that thinks the sound of a ball hitting a metal bat is not loud? What about the blowhorns that these parents blow and the kids hit a ground ball and just get a single? I love basketball, but what about the crazy rap music that they play? But how crazy is it tennis players can get that amount of square footage at a park? Right? But I think we all can agree we need to call our lawyers. We need to sue pickleball players. They're truly driving people crazy, tearing apart the fabrics of our society, and they need to be stopped right now. I was playing pickleball, becoming who I was supposed to be. How was I supposed to know those lawyers would sue the hell out of me?
People get really passionate about their game, and so there's some cheering, and that's why we're focusing any pickleball court development that we do within the Clark Park system on our community parks, as opposed to our neighborhood parks, which are much smaller than Pacific Park.
Stipe says people have been asking for more courts. More are planned for a new community park that will be built next year. And tennis balls and basketballs, they may have to make room for pickleballs.
We might stripe them and have the option to go either way.
I was playing pickleball, becoming who I was supposed to be. How was I supposed to know those lawyers would sue the hell out of me? They are the lantern flies of the sports world. That's what an upset dad said at Corporal John A. Saravalli Park in West Village, New York. So what exactly is this article saying? Basically, kids love pickleball so much they are making makeshift pickleball courts with duct tape and temporary nets so they can play pickleball. What's wrong with that? Parents of kids that don't like pickleball are upset because these kids that do like pickleball are taking that space so they can't play soccer and other activities at a playground. The parents are so upset they get into the park early, laying blankets down to claim that stake at the park for that day so pickleball lovers can't set up pickleball nets. They have gone one step farther, calling the cops to remove these temporary nets because they're saying balls should not be played at the park. A 7 and 9-year-old went down to the park. Please go home, they all said. The cops / park rangers are telling the pickleball parents to remove these nets because balls should not be used at the park. I am flat out serious. Now we all know New York City does not have much space, so parks are in high demand, unlike Florida, which is why most New Yorkers are moving down to Florida, taking our parks. Mommy, it's a public park. Aren't we allowed to play today? Well, kiddos, some people will never make you happy in this life. You can tell them to just screw off. New Yorkers are moving down to Florida, causing stress because everyone knows Northeasterners are not happy. I say that in all honesty. I've lived there. It's miserable. There's a reason that's so good at handling mental health. People are going crazy. There's no parks. They can't have social experiences. They can't connect with people, and it's a serious problem in our society. To that parent that said pickleball lovers are the lanternflies of our society, I tell you, not a good parent. You probably don't have many friends. And I say this in the sincerest way possible. I hope you find happiness one day. In the meantime, don't take away happiness from us. I'm Joey. I'm all in pickleball. Maybe you should be too. Except that one parent, please just stay in New York. Now the cops telling us we can't. Mommy doesn't have anything better to do.